It's amazing what these really simple tools can do, isn't it? So it is absolutely amazing. Right, let's have a look. We'll see what we're up to today. My phone. If I move it slower, does it pick up better? Right, anyway. Alrighty, tighty. Welcome back to the Old Dog Television. Got our doors in. And they look crap, but that's mainly because the phone is rubbish. Is the phone rubbish? I think it's probably quite a good phone. Yeah, it's amazing what you can do with a spirit level, a right angle, and a hammer. Can understand why the Freemasons get the rocks off with this stuff, can't you? Right, we've got the lights that are switching on and off in the background. So finally, got the two doors in there, two other sets of doors in here. Apparently the weather's to get rubbish next week. I'm not going to be bothered about that because I'll show you what I'm up to. I was hoping to have this done by Christmas, but the oil pump going in the van robbed me of a week's worth of transport and maybe 5 days worth of labour. Right, so I've over-engineered the life out of it. I've used joists to hold the two sets of doors and joists to strengthen all that up. Why have I done that? A couple of reasons. Reason number one, they're fire doors and they're really heavy. That should help with stop and sound. Density is important. And the other reason I'm about to show you down here. Right, so we've got these straps. The insulation's going to sit in. I planned this out for my YouTube followers. So insulation. It's got bloody rave in here, isn't it? Insulation is going to sit between these uprights. There'll be plasterboard. Let's have a look at that. The plasterboard on the outside of it. Insulation, then plasterboard on the inside of it. Then this gap here. Is there a better way of seeing it? That's going to be sound deadening material. So that's going to give us a good few inches. What's that? At least 10 millimetres. Over in the corners, there's a gap for the studio monitors. The same thing. You can see it there. Insulation in there. Plasterboard in front of that. That'll give us a thermal barrier between the workshop and in here. It also gives us some kind of acoustical barrier, but it wouldn't be that great. But again, we've got this distance. It's about 10 or 15. This video's mad, isn't it? 10 or 15 millimetres that we're going to ram full of. I think, controversially, if I can keep it away from the mains cables and anything that could cause a fire, I'm going to put a lot of carpet underlay, maybe 2 or 3 layers, all down here, around there, in that space, behind the monitors. Then I'll use some high density rock wool. That should give us the first bit of acoustic treatment. The carpet underlay is good for, is it 30 or 50 dB? So 3 or 4 layers of it should be good. Should also be good for bass response as well. And I'm wondering, I want to build the monitors into the wall. So should I do treatment up there and across the roof? That whole thing's going to be packed with acoustical dampening. So, I've not buttoned this up yet. I want to go home and sleep on it to make sure, once it's in, you know, I want to go home and sleep on it, make sure that I've not forgot anything. Come in tomorrow, get the, what do you call that stuff? Cellotex, the Kingspan, the insulation cut for these gaps. Get the plasterboard on the inside and the outside. Then, as I said, the weather's to get bad next week. So that means I'm going to have an airtight room. I can put a little heater on in here, then start working and get back to the plaster work and all that type of thing. Not touched that in ages. The other thing that I need to think about is I'm using these little PIR lights, so they keep on switching on and off me. So I need to get some temporary lighting in the place so I can do that. Get the insulation in, get the walls buttoned up, little heater, cover my Smart Posh doors up with some material or something like that. Got quite a job. What I did there is used a wooden shim. I'll get various ones going up the door and screwing from that side to hold them in place. Then expanding foam between the gaps. I'm wary about expanding foam. It can put some amount of pressure in wood and cause you problems, but I'll do that before I put the plasterboard needle in so it can expand out into the workshop area or back here. Then I'll just go and nip it with a saw and get it nice and flush. So get that all buttoned up. Then next week's job, and this is getting really close, I'm putting in a false floor. For a couple of reasons. It's concrete, but sound energy can actually travel through that, believe it or not. And I want to raise it. I'll use these things again, I don't know how thick they are. I'll turn them sideways, put them all down the floor. 8x4 sheets everywhere. Below the 8x4 sheets, I'm going to probably use carpet underlay and rock wool again. And I want to use different thicknesses and dimensions, hopefully as the floor resonates. If it's an 8x4 sheet, it's going to be 4x2 spaces. If we use different level thickness of insulation below them, I'm hoping it's going to give us different size of resonant chambers that will resonate at different frequencies, and maybe we'll get some extra acoustic stuff, acoustic something out of that. Because of the random shape of the walls as well, none of these are the same. Now that's down to, it started off being just a couple of walls that tradesmen could use without a roof and stuff like that. When I put the roof on it, I strengthened it up with these for the joists, but it now means these are all regular shapes as well. So that distance from there up the way, that's a constant. The distance down the wall is a constant as well. But the fact that these things are all different sizes, I'm hoping will help null resonance in the walls. So I've got to knock it in the head at that. Get the insulation in, plasterboard both sides, get a nice little room I can put a heater in, get the floor down. Then it's cable and paranoia, isn't it? I need to get some light in here anyway. Big paranoia about the cabling is I don't want any cables. I do installations in pubs and nightclubs and bars and restaurants and things. And the big thing is hiding the cables. I want that to be even more relative in my own place. So I don't want any cables running across the floor. They're all going to come under the false floor and pop up below where the mixing desk will be. So that should be really neat and tidy. But when I'm doing installations in bars and restaurants and clubs and stuff like that, I call it pub cancer. What happens is the place starts out really nice. Then they add in extra CCTV, add in extra points for tills, and you end up just seeing, you'll see it in pubs and restaurants, cables running above doors, and it all looks terrible. So I'm thinking of maybe putting some conduit under the floor and into the walls. Then at a later date, if I have to upgrade the cables or put extra ones in, I'm not going to have to run them in front of my finished faces. I've already did quite well. That's the ones for, there'll be 2 TV monitors. So studio monitor, couple of flat screen TVs in the middle. Cables are already in for that. That should be the on-off switch. That'll be the mains for the tellies, and that'll be the mains for the lights, mains for the TVs, and I'll put lots of sockets in as well. So cable and paranoia, but as I'm in the space, looking, working and thinking, hopefully I'll get ideas as to how many cables I want to run in. The best thing to do is put in more than you need, isn't it? The other thing I was thinking of doing is running a cable out into the workshop area. Then if you want to record a guitar solo or something, you could put an amplifier down one end of it. It's quite a long space, and mic it at 25 20-foot intervals along the building, use that as an actual reverb chamber. Same with a drum kit, if you want a big sound, use a big space, isn't it, really? Anyway, as I say, I've not buttoned it up. I'll do that tomorrow because I want to have a triple think. But it's great, it really is. The van's going fine as well, which, you know, the week before Christmas, thinking to yourself, I'm going to have to take on a massive bank loan here to get a new van. No, I need a new van anyway. I lost a lot of work last year because of that low emission zone nonsense. But I don't like the government forcing my hand in anything, ever. Whatever the government tells me, I don't believe them. If they tell me to do something, my gut reaction is to do the opposite of what they tell me to do. And that's me starting to rant as well. You see, if a government ever gives you guns and tells you to go and fight people, turn the guns on the government. Alrighty. That's what the communists did, 1917 in Russia. If they give you guns to go and fight a war, use the guns to take out your government. There you go. Zambo Shavara. Shalom, Charastafari. Thanks for watching. Bye.